You stand up from your desk with one clear mission: the kitchen. You need the scissors, or the charger, or the name of the thing you were just thinking about. You cross the hallway. You push open the door. And, the instant you step through, it is gone. Blank. You stand there staring at the counter like it owes you an answer. You are not getting old. You are not losing your mind. You just walked through a doorway. And that single ordinary act may be exactly what erased the thought. In 2011, a psychologist named Gabriel Radvansky at the University of Notre Dame set out to test something that sounds almost too small to matter. He had people pick up an object, carry it across a room, and then try to remember what they were holding. Sometimes they walked the full distance across one large room. Sometimes they walked that same distance through a doorway into a second room. Same steps, same objects. One difference: the people who passed through a doorway forgot more. Measurably, reliably, the wall did something the open floor did not. But here's the part that broke the simple explanation. You would assume the fix is obvious. Go back to where you had the thought, and the thought returns. Radvansky tested exactly that. He walked people back through the doorway into the original room. It barely helped. Whatever the crossing had done, stepping back did not undo it. To understand why, you have to let go of an assumption you have carried your entire life. You feel like your memory is one long, continuous recording. A single video running from the moment you wake to the moment you sleep. It isn't. Your brain does not store your day as a movie. It stores it as a series of scenes. A researcher at Washington University in St. Louis named Jeffrey Zaks has spent years proving this. Your mind is constantly, quietly slicing your experience into chunks, events, with beginnings and endings. The talk in the kitchen is one event. The walk to the car is another. You never decide to do this. It happens beneath your awareness, hundreds of times a day. And he could actually watch it happen. When Zach slid people into a brain scanner and showed them plain films of someone doing everyday things, making breakfast, building a model, he saw bursts of activity in certain regions right at the seams. The exact moment one little action ended and the next began, parts of the brain lit up. Your mind was visibly marking the cuts, like a film editor dropping in a splice. So why would a brain do something so apparently inconvenient? Because chunking is how you find anything later. A book broken into chapters can be searched. One endless, unbroken page cannot. By cutting your life into scenes, your brain builds a memory you can actually walk back through. The forgetting is not a bug in that system. It is the price of the filing. And to cut one scene from the next, the brain needs a signal. A cue that says the old moment is finished and a new one has begun. A change of place is one of the loudest cues there is. A doorway to your mind is not just a gap in a wall. It is a giant marker flashing a single instruction. New scene. Put the old one away. That putting away is the whole problem. The thought from your desk, go get the scissors, belonged to the previous scene. The instant you crossed the threshold, your brain closed that scene like shutting a folder and reached for a clean, empty one. The scissors were in the folder you had just set down, and it gets stranger the more doors you count. Radvansky built rooms inside a computer and had people move through them on screen, carrying objects, doorway after doorway opening ahead of them. The more thresholds they crossed, the worse their memory became. One doorway cost them. Two cost them more. The forgetting stacked, door by door, as if the mind were setting down a heavier load at every crossing. Maybe you are thinking the real culprit is the new room. That an unfamiliar space steals your attention, pulls your eyes toward fresh walls and furniture. Radvansky checked that idea too. He sent people through a doorway into a room they had already visited, a place they knew well. They still forgot. It was never about the room being new. It was about the crossing itself, the boundary, not the destination. There is a name researchers give this: the location updating effect. The theory behind it is sometimes called the event horizon model, the idea that each event has an edge, and once you pass it, what came before slips out of easy reach. You are not failing to remember. You are standing on the far side of a horizon your own mind drew. You have lived this 1,000 times without a name for it. You walk to the bedroom to fetch your phone while holding your phone. You open the fridge and forget, mid-reach, what you came to take out. You climb the stairs with a perfectly good reason and arrive at the top a stranger to yourself. Each time, something sat quietly between the thought and the blank. A doorway, a staircase, a turn into a new space. You blamed yourself every time. The architecture deserved some of the credit. Now an honest story has to slow down here. Science is rarely one clean verdict, and the doorway effect has been put back on the bench by other labs with mixed results. Some who tried to reproduce it found the forgetting showed up mainly when people's minds were already loaded. Juggling a second task. Holding too much at once. With a calm, uncluttered mind, a doorway alone was not always enough to knock the thought loose, which is not a flaw in the idea. It may be the very heart of it. You almost never walk into a room with an empty head. You walk in carrying the half-written message, the thing someone just said, the worry about a deadline on Thursday. Your attention is already full to the brim. The doorway is simply the final nudge, the last straw on a mind that was holding more than it could carry. Step back far enough and something larger swims into view. Your day feels seamless to you. One smooth, flowing experience, morning bleeding into afternoon without any visible joints. That smoothness is a construction. Underneath it, your brain has chopped the whole thing into dozens of separate scenes and quietly stitched the edges shut, so you never feel the cuts. The doorway moment is the rare instant the stitching shows. A thought falls clean through a seam you did not know was there, and for one strange second you feel the architecture of your own memory. So why do you forget why you walked into a room? Not because your memory is failing you, because it is doing precisely what it was built to do. Your brain treats your life as a sequence of scenes, and it reads the architecture around you, walls, thresholds, the plain act of moving from here to there as the place to cut one scene from the next. You did not lose the thought. Your brain filed it under a moment that, as far as it was concerned, had already ended. And here is the eerie part. You would expect that walking back would set everything right. Return to the doorway, return to the desk, and surely the thought comes home with you. Often, it doesn't. And that absence tells you something quiet and strange. The thought was not hiding behind the wall, waiting for you to come back. The moment you crossed, your brain did not merely hide that scene from you. It closed it. So the next time you rise with one clear, simple mission and lose it the very instant you step through the door, be gentle with yourself. Nothing is broken. You are not slipping away. You simply walked out of one chapter of your life and into the next. In your mind, ever the tidy librarian had already closed the book behind you.